All right, good morning, agents. I'm Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here at Alta Realty Group. And today we are going to go over AI for real estate in 2025. So we're all hyper aware of the changes in AI and what that's doing to the entire world, but it's got a lot of impacts for how we do our jobs in real estate. So this should be a really good overview for everybody, and just I'm sure there's a lot of really good real world prompts and examples that you guys can all use immediately. So should be a very cool webinar. I'm excited to do it. So before we get into today's presentation, I'm going to bring Amelia Hollow from Clearview Mortgage on the line. Amelia, good morning. How are you today?
Hi, Kevin. Good morning. I'm good, thank you. Um,
Always good to
Mortgage market. Go ahead.
have always good to have you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Mortgage market update. There's a big Fed announcement today. No cut expected. So any movement in the market will be more based on other comments that the Fed makes, but definitely not anticipating any rate cut today there. And obviously, lots of stuff happening in the world. So I don't know. I'd be tempted to lock people in today if you've got anybody in escrow who's talking to a loan officer and floating a rate. Might be a good day to look at locking ahead of any big swings. And in general, we wanted to come on today and kind of revisit the seller credit temporary rate buy down. This is just such an amazing tool. We felt it was worth coming back on to talk about one more time, and maybe again in the future. And I won't go into as much depth as I did on a previous call. So I'll just throw out there that if anybody wants to go more in depth or has questions about this, please feel free to call me and I'd be happy to walk you through all of the nuance of it. Um, but just a reminder, I think this is such an important thing for realtors to really have a good grasp on in this higher interest rate market, with this overall feeling that in the future rates will come down, even if it's going to take longer than we were initially hoping. Right now, utilizing seller credit to buy your rate down can be such an important tool for those buyers who are on the sidelines, who you're doing pre-approvals with, who are just not happy with the numbers that they're getting in front of them, and they're deciding, you know what, I'm just going to wait for rates to come down. They are not understanding somehow that when rates come down, these home prices are going to go up with the demand that the lower interest rates is going to bring off the sidelines. And they may well end up paying more with the lower interest rate at the higher sales price a year from now than if they had gotten in now. And so leveraging seller credit to buy the rate down, whether it's 20, 30, sometimes if it's a very high priced product, we could be looking at about $50,000 of seller credit needed. And I know that's a huge ask to go to sellers for, because the second question you're going to get is what's in it for the seller? And the answer is really nothing other than helping move their property off the market and get the deal done for the buyer who maybe wouldn't have made an offer without it. So whether you build that credit in on top of their asking price so that they still net what they're trying to get, or maybe the home's been sitting on the market for a while, starting to have reduction on the price, bringing it back in and offering at that original list price so that they net their new reduced price. I do sometimes get those buyers who start thinking, okay, well, I want to lowball the offer and ask for credit. And, I've got some people who do that over and over again. That gets a little frustrating. Like, it does involve some educating the buyers on how to make this work for both sides. But as a realtor, I think the other side of it too, on the listing side, is if you've got a property that's been sitting on the market that's not moving, educating your sellers about how this credit can help encourage a buyer to come in and help make an offer and get a deal done, because it really is just such a huge tool right now. I cannot tell you how many pre-approvals I've done in the past 6 months for people who are just like, ooh, I can't stomach this 7%. And their 7% could be a 4 or a 5% for the first year with that seller credit, depending on how you structure it. So it really takes it and flips it to being something that makes sense for them in the short term, knowing that either their incomes are going to go up in the next couple years, and when it hits that note rate at the end of the term, they'll be able to take on a slightly higher payment, or they're going to refinance well before that temporary rate buy down term is ever up, in which case they're going to get a check in the mail for whatever the balance of that seller credit is that wasn't yet spent on the interest rate. So unlike a permanent rate buy down, that money goes to an escrow account. It offsets the note rate payment each month to the mortgage company versus permanent rate buy down. You pay that at your closing cost to the lender. And if rates come down in 6 months and you refinance, but you just spent $50,000 on a rate buy down, it's gone. In this case, you could be looking at getting your buyers a check back in the mail 6 months to a year from now for tens of thousands of dollars potentially if a refinance opportunity happens before that term is up. So, again, I'd be happy to dive into this. There's a lot to it. I deal with it every day, so it's kind of second nature to me. But if anything is kind of like missing the mark, please give me a call. I'd be happy to go over how this can benefit you with your pre-approval clients and with your seller clients whose homes maybe are sitting on the market for a little longer than you were hoping.
It's great info, Amelia. Yes, super important. That can make literally be the difference between making a deal happen and having one fall through. So good point.
Absolutely.
All right, great. Well, thanks, Amelia.
Of course.
All right, so we are going to move swiftly into our presentation, but before we do, let's bring Bill Seitz on the line real quick. Bill, good morning. How are you doing today?
Well, it was good until my device died.
We've all been there.
I, I literally logged in and I was like, okay, I'm just waiting for you to start the webinar. And then like, I think probably 30 seconds before you started it, like my everything went dark. I was like, oh my God, how I didn't realize that I had no battery. So I apologize. I was scrambling and it's I feel like every time that happens to me, like you plug your device in and like it never like instantly goes to like 1%, 2%. It's like
No.
it takes like 6 or 7 minutes.
Oh, for sure.
So here we are at 9:08. It took 8 minutes to get back on.
Well, you're back. You're back with us, Bill.
Yeah, I was prepared. I was ready to go. That threw me into a tailspin. I was like, "What the heck?"
I thought we were just going to have a webinar without the chief.
Oh my gosh, that was not the plan. Okay, so Amelia, I saw she just popped off.
Yeah, great update, of course, on the buy down.
Cool.
So that was amazing. She has a lot of good knowledge, and so that was perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, one thing I wanted to, and I don't know, she may have mentioned this too. This is something I was thinking about. I don't know if she went into the difference of a permanent rate buy down versus the like the 2-1 or the 3-2-1 buy down. The permanent rate buy down. Did she go into that?
Yes, but go ahead.
Well, just if you do a permanent rate buy down and you get an opportunity to refinance, in a relatively short time, you don't get that money back. So that's just the money is thrown at the rate buy down, and if rates end up dropping and the Fed says, okay, we're going to have 3 rate drops next year, you just know that you don't get that money back. Where if you do, like she went through the 3-2-1 or the 2-1, the money that potentially is unused to buy down that rate goes to the principal reduction, which is awesome because you basically have to use all of the credit at some point or another, versus a permanent rate buy down. It's just you throw the money at it. If you get a chance to refinance, you're not getting anything that back towards a principal reduction. So those are kind of two really important differentiations. But yeah, the rate buy down is an amazing program. We just like to keep touching everybody with that information because in a higher interest rate environment, it's really important to people to be able to not have payment shock, and they can ease their way into 2 or 3 years into a fully amortized start rate.
For sure. No, that good point. So thank you for that, Bill.
Yeah. And then I want to quickly touch, sorry, I'm kind of behind here, but the broker tip this week was everyone's favorite. If you've ever gotten a violation or a notice of violation from CRMLS or one of these MLSs, and I see it with some of the agents, and I see it for a number of reasons, and it came across my little world recently. I wanted just to share that, especially when you input a property into the MLS, right? And you're expected to put an estimated close of escrow, any concessions, you put the buyer's agent information in there if they're, if you're not double ending it, blah, 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 right? You put all your information in your estimated close of escrow. And then if there's any changes, you would obviously go in and change the close of escrow date. And, if any concessions end up happening or whatever, you correct that information. It goes into, you close the deal, and then you click, sold, right? Well, I kind of went back and forth with them because they were trying to fine actually myself, because all the information was correct. Nothing had changed. Actually, I changed it one time, and I changed it because the price had been dropped, and then I changed the new close of escrow date, and then it goes into the auto sold. It automatically goes to auto sold if you don't go in there and manually do it. Well, my whole argument with them was, why does an agent have to go in and click a button when, if all the information is exactly, nothing's changed again, and then you're being punitive with that. I just kind of went back and forth with them. I was, trying to, and I obviously got nowhere, but it's just a reminder that it's like going up against the wall and banging your head. Like I've seen it with agents using like photos that they're like, an association gave them permission to use photos, but not the photographer that took the photo, but the association has them on file. So it might be like pictures of the grounds of the association, or the pool, or the workout area or whatever. And that fine is incredible. It's like $1,500. It's so, some of these things are so over the top punitive, and I kind of, said my piece to them, and said, I think, what you guys are doing is wrong. I mean, I don't, fine if there has to be some sort of punitive thing, but the amount that they charge for this stuff is outrageous. And so I just want to remind everybody, I've been in your shoes. I had to deal with it, and I was not happy. And I don't want to see anybody else out there have to give your hard-earned money to this this entity that we have to basically work with. So don't get frustrated like me. Learn from my mistake. Even as the broker, I still find myself dealing with this crap as well. And yeah, that's my little spiel for that.
Yeah, it's like dealing with the mafia.
Yeah, you know, they just don't care. They just don't care. And then they'll try, if you want to review it. Like, I see agents say, oh, I'm going to pay the $150 to have the file reviewed, like go into like an arbitration thing, and they never win. So they lose that money and find it's like, it's just a black hole. It's like a money grab, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And so just don't want any of you to experience that if you don't have to. Just make sure, like, naive that I am, naive listening. I just, went round and round with them. I was like, why do you have to update it when it's all the information is exactly perfect going into the auto sold? And they, of course, they couldn't give me an answer, right? It's just, this is rule 19.123 stating that it's like,
Yeah.
hey, that rule's stupid. So why don't you guys change it? You know what I mean? But they won't. And so, anyways, that's just my little frustration anecdote to share with everybody. Be careful. Don't give them your money. I don't want to see that happen.
Ugh. Yeah. Well, appreciate that. It's a huge tip. Yeah, you won't win, so don't try.
You will not win.
Yeah, one of the agents says it's a ripoff. They don't consult the agent. No, they don't. You're right. All right. Thank you for that, Bill. And also just wanted to huge shout out. We have a lot of new agents. Our recruiter extraordinaire, Don Kearney, has been hiring all kinds of great agents. We really appreciate you guys joining. We have Joanne Jew, we have Robert Lamore, Gabriel Pachelder, Michael Vernice. Michael Vernice, I had a great orientation with him yesterday, and he's out of Tennessee. And so he specializes, he has, agents that, or I'm sorry, clients that move to California from Tennessee. And so that's why he's got his license here. But he also wanted me to reach out to our agents and let everybody know that if we have clients that are moving out of California, which is happening a lot, and anybody that's heading to Tennessee, we now have a Tennessee guy on the ground ready to help us out. So he was a really nice guy, Michael Vernice. If you guys have agents, or I'm sorry, clients that are heading that way, let me know and I will put you in contact with Michael. So thanks, guys. Glad to have you aboard. And we are looking forward to helping you with your success in the real estate business. So with that said, we're going to move to our feature presentation. Let me share my graphic with you guys. So AI, really crazy stuff, but it is a tool that we can be using. It certainly doesn't replace, things that we're doing, but it just helps us augment what we're doing in real estate. So a couple of stats here. Why AI matters in real estate today. Well, GPT 3.5 was introduced just last year. It's free. It's really good. However, ChatGPT 4, I think that was released probably about 8 months ago, something like that. It is apparently 10 times smarter and available for just $20 a month. So if you want to upgrade your ChatGPT to ChatGPT 4, it is literally 10 times smarter than the previous version, which is crazy. And then the ChatGPT, when it was given the Wharton MBA exam, it got a B. Pretty cool. When it was given the U.S. medical licensing exam, it scored an 86%, also a high B. And when it was given the bar exam for law, it scored a 90. So it's kind of crazy. And just for context, Einstein had an IQ of 160, ChatGPT 4 ranks at a 155. So super crazy. And ChatGPT 4.5 is just about to come out, and that's predicted to surpass this exponentially. So really nuts stuff. But we can't just be left in the dark or in the dust in the back. We have to embrace this stuff, start using it, and it can help us with our business. So a couple different ways that AI can help our real estate businesses is you can use it to help your business planning. So you can do, we've got a prompt down here that we'll read in a second, and we can create a 12-month business plan, right? So business plans are something that most agents, first of all, don't do. And second, they just are scared of, doing a business plan because it's not very easy. And it's like, okay, where do I start? What do I do? So we can now use ChatGPT to create a business plan. So I'm going to read this. So the prompt that you're going to put into ChatGPT will be something like this, or a variation. I'm a realtor. I'd like you to write me a 1-year business plan. I would like to sell 12 houses this year. My preferred methods of prospecting are hosting open houses, door knocking the neighborhood of 1,200 homes in the Port Street of Newport Beach, and communicating with my sphere of influence, which includes my friends, family, former business associates. Create a business plan that outlines my activities above on a monthly basis, include dropping off postcards, sending emails, and phone calling people. So let's go ahead and just steal this and put it right into our ChatGPT. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to switch my screens. So of course, those of you that are not familiar with ChatGPT or have not done it yet, you just go to openai.com and you can, create a free account, or you can, buy the $20 a month account, and you can go ahead and, pay the $20 and just have that ChatGPT 4, which is apparently a lot better. So I literally just put it, here's the little prompt area down here. So I just threw it in there, and it is spitting out a whole 12-month business plan marketing plan of what I'm supposed to do for the next 12 months. I mean, unbelievable what this does, guys. Look at this. So let's just review. So it gives us kind of an overview at first, 2024, we're in 2025, ChatGPT. Oh, got it. It's telling us what happened last year. That's cool. So it gives us our market. It gives us the monthly activities overview. Each month, we're going to host open houses, 2 to 4 open houses. Door knocking, we're going to do 100 homes per month. Postcards, we're going to do 100 postcards per month, targeting the port streets in Newport Beach. Sphere of influence, we're going to do 20 calls a month, emails, touch point emails, in-person meetings, and or coffee, 2 to 3 contacts per month. So this takes the guesswork out of, what do I spend my time on? What do I, do during the day in order to drum up more business? So literally, this is so powerful. I mean, this is so good that I am going to go ahead and steal all this. And I am going to copy it. And I'm going to put it on a separate Word document. And so you can do one of several things, right? You can put this on a notepad. You can put it on a Word document. Really anything you want. But the bottom line is you want to take this information and you want to just post it. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but boom, I just posted it onto a Word document, blank Word document, and so now I have that. So super easy. So let me get back to our graphic over here. So another thing that you can use ChatGPT for is you can ask it to be a real-time coach, and you can have it help you in negotiations. So it can act as your negotiation coach, providing you with scripts for tricky situations, things that are going on within a deal. So look at this. I want to act as a real estate coach and provide scripts for the following scenario to a realtor from the selling side. The realtor is representing 2 sellers. The house has just been listed for 2 days and they've received a full asking price offer of $879,000 with only a home inspection clause. The deposit from the buyers is also $70,000, showing their commitment to buy the property. The sellers were talking to their neighbor and said they could easily get $900,000 for their property. We've all had that. The sellers are now getting cold feet about the offer and thinking they might want to hold out for a better offer since this was the first offer and they have only been on the market for 2 days. Provide 3 different scripts on the approach for the selling realtor in encouraging them of the benefits of this strong offer, and 3 possible rebuttals from the selling clients thinking that they can get more money. Then provide 3 different ways to respond to those rebuttals. I mean, how cool is that? This is something that a lot of agents struggle with. They're like, how do I, overcome these things? And Bill gets these questions all the time. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy that. I'm going to take that right back over to ChatGPT. And I'm going to put it right into the prompt area again. I'm just going to paste it in, click the button, and here we go. And look how fast this, I mean, it blows my mind that this is our reality today. And for years, I ran a marketing company, and one of the biggest things in search engine optimization was, creating written content that Google would, read and find relevant towards, the certain keyword phrases that, people were trying to target. And now you can just have ChatGPT write everything. It's ridiculous. It used to be like my number one, Achilles heel or nemesis, but now ChatGPT just spits it out for you. No big deal. So look at this. So 3 scripts encouraging sellers to consider their offer. Script 1, emphasizing certainty and strength. Congratulations, within just 2 days, you've received a full price offer, with a sizable deposit and only home inspection contingency. This shows that the buyers are extremely serious and committed. In today's market, getting this kind of offer so quickly is rare, and accepting it means you can lock in a strong outcome without risking a lengthy or uncertain selling process. Would you like to review the numbers and the pros and cons together? I mean, it's so articulate and just so easy. I understand receiving your first offer so soon can be exciting and maybe even make you think that there's more to come. However, this is a full price offer with a very strong deposit. These are rare, even for great homes. The longer a property stays on the market, the more buyers wonder why. Quick, solid offers often come from the most motivated and qualified buyers. Let's talk through the possible scenarios if we wait versus accepting this now. Really cool, huh? And then there's the third one. And then possible seller rebuttals. Our neighbor said we can get easily 900,000 because our neighbors are so smart. Why should we settle? Right? Like, come on. So the response to rebuttal number one is, it's understandable, want the highest price possible. Remember, though, every home and every transaction is unique. The market is ultimately set by what buyers will pay, not neighbors' opinions. Duh. All right, you have a real committed buyer ready to move forward. We can review recent comparable sales together, but waiting for a possible $21,000 more, offer comes with risks, like buyers losing interest, changing market conditions, lower offers down the line. So how cool is this? So, and just think of, you can do this for so many different situations, but it's just amazing that we have this technology now, right? So another thing that you can use AI for is newsletter creation, just like what I was just talking about. So you can create valuable newsletters for your sphere of influence, and it can even generate content ideas, titles, additional articles. So let's take a look at this prompt. So this prompt would be as reads. I want you to be a creative real estate copywriter who needs to create newsletters. I first want you to give me 5 newsletter titles for a real estate newsletter to engage first-time homebuyers. The goal of the newsletter is to show that I have a strong knowledge in the process of home buying, and I focus on education, guidance, and communication to reduce the stress and emotional roller coaster of buying a home. How cool is that? So the magic, as you can see with ChatGPT, is literally, there's an art to creating these prompts. And so the better that you create, the better the prompt that you create, the better the AI is going to be when it spits it out. And so it's way different than just, typing things into Google, where, kind of less is generally a better way to get what you want out of Google. This is like, the more you put in, the more specific and the better it's going to be. So let's see what they come up with here. Okay, so monthly guide for a stress-free purchase. The road to your first home, tips, tools, and trusted advice. From search to sold, insider secrets for the first-time buyers. Your first home made easy, clarity, confidence, and calm. So just really good, titles. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a second prompt that will go something like this. I want you to be a creative first real estate copywriter who needs to create newsletters. The title of the newsletters is all the ones that we just went through. And I want you to create an opening, body, conclusion for the newsletter. Focus on engaging the first-time homebuyer and providing a guide on the process. For example, first reach out to a reputable and knowledgeable realtor. The realtor will then guide you in getting a mortgage. The realtor will discuss the real estate market. The realtor will educate you on the buying process. The realtor will talk about the negotiation process. So let's throw that into ChatGPT and we'll see what we come out with. And of course, it just spits it out like nobody's business. The speed at which this does it just blows my mind. I really can't believe that we have access to this. So you guys got to start using this stuff. So we'll just go through some of this stuff real quick. Boom, the opening. Have you ever dreamed of unlocking your very own front door, hanging art on the walls that, that are finally yours, or cooking in a kitchen that truly belongs to you? Right? I mean, it reads way better than most of us can write. So we have to use this stuff. The body, start with a trusted realtor, connect with a knowledgeable mortgage broker, explore the market together. I mean, it's just like completely done for you. It reads really well. No excuses, right? All right. So the next use of AI in real estate. Oh, whoops. That we're going to go over. And I'm going to share a few other ones for you guys. I won't go through every single one of these, but creating social media creation, right? Content for social media is huge. It's something that we all struggle with, right? So how about this? Create a persona for a 65-year-old empty nester female who wants to downsize her home in Newport Beach, California. Or create 3 Facebook ads for the persona above with emojis and hashtags. And the prompt could read something like this: create 6 real estate blog ideas. Or this is also, you can use this for blog creation. You can use this for newsletters. You can use this for all of the stuff, right? So for blog creation, you could do a prompt like this: create 6 real estate blog ideas for my website blog. My market is Orange County, California. Here are 6 engaging blog ideas tailored for your Orange County, California real estate audience. These topics provide value, establish your authority, and resonate with local buyers and sellers. So the first one, Orange County market update. What's happening in the local real estate? Why it works. Stay ahead of the curve by providing monthly or quarterly updates on trends in OC. Include home values, average days on the market, and market inventory. Key highlights: Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, other top performing cities. Target audience: buyers, sellers, and investors curious about market conditions. And then 5 things you need to know before selling your Orange County home. Why it works: because Orange County sellers want actionable tips and maximize their home value. Offer advice on pricing, staging, marketing, and timing. Key highlights: discuss buyer demand, why homes sit on the market, and unique OC property trends. So we're just getting so dialed in and just we're drilling down to a very minute level when we're doing these very, very specific prompts, right? Another thing that you can use ChatGPT for is creating press releases about yourself, your community, milestones, recent achievements. So let's take a look at this example. I'm a realtor. My name is Terry LeClaire, and I would like to create a 1-page press release for me. I've recently joined the first team. I recently joined Alta Realty Group as the sales manager for Newport Beach and Laguna Beach offices in Southern California. I'd like the press release to include a brief bio on me and information about Alta Realty Group. I'd like there to be a tone that would encourage other agents at other companies to think about joining the Newport Beach or Laguna Beach Alta offices to help grow our business. Cool, right? So press releases can be sent out into a variety of quote unquote press release publications, and you can put them on your social media. So it is a great idea to do press releases. So that's a cool idea. And the last one is you can use AI to summarize lengthy real estate market reports. Sometimes people are, they can read some of these market reports and it doesn't, they don't know how to read them. And so a really good idea is to use ChatGPT to simplify those and to make them a little bit more readable to the layperson. So here's a cool prompt. I want you to summarize the attached document as in one of DJ Bibb's Altos reports. So you can take one of his reports, attach it to ChatGPT, and the following document is a real estate report for the Orange County market for the month of April. I want you to create a 1-page document that identifies the health of the real estate market, plus the trends that are being seen in the market, please provide H2 headlines. That's just the font, of course, for each trend and explain why it's happening. Do not guess on why it's happening. And you could even, put in, use language that would be at an 8th grade level, or you can literally, like I said, the more you dial in your prompts, the more specific it's going to be. And so you can really just, get these prompts so specific that the AI that spits out is exactly what you want and what your what your clients will be able to digest. So super cool stuff. And then just I'll follow up, or I'll end with, the importance of prompt engineering. This is what I've been speaking about. So in order to get the most out of these AI tools, you need to master prompt engineering. So exactly what we're talking about. Unlike Google, which thrives on short queries, AI requires specific, detailed prompts for best results. And here's a final little thought here, so you can try the super prompt. I want you to act as the best AI prompt in the world and take the following prompt to a 10x the quality of its output. So you're just kind of like pushing the ChatGPT to its total limit. So that's kind of fun. But anyway, those are some specific things that you can use today to help your real estate business. And of course, I'll include all of these different prompts that we went over in the replay that will be out probably around noon today. And so, Bill, any takeaways from utilizing AI in our real estate careers?
Yeah, Kevin. So there's just, it's like having your own PR firm at your fingertips.
It really is.
And obviously it's free. And this like kind of goes back to, I don't know, one of my business classes down at San Diego State going through college. And one of the classes, I guess, or one of the concepts they were trying to convey was adoption of a product or adoption of technology. And so the technology adoption curve is a Bell model curve describing how people react or adopt or they accept new innovative products or new technologies. And AI is no different than anything. Like an Apple iPhone, like when the Apple iPhone came out, right? The first people that were like, oh, I gotta have that. Those are the innovators. Those are the people that are like, I gotta have this. I gotta be the first one to get it. And then you have the early adopters, the early majority, the late majority, and then the laggards. And percentage wise, the innovators are 2.5% of the population. The early adopters are 13.5% of the population. The early majority, 34%. This is where we get to the middle of basically the population. The late majority matches the early majority. That's another 34%. And then the laggards are 16%. So when I look at AI in all its functions, and it's really robust, and its usage is kind of just blows all of our minds. The quicker that you utilize it, get used to and comfortable using it. Right now, I would say we're probably still in this late innovator, early adopter stage. And for people that are in any industry, especially real estate, if you start using this now and this becoming part of your daily marketing strategy or your daily habits of how you're pushing out information, or how you're connecting with clients, or how you're creating content, you're on the front end of this stuff, and you're going to be way ahead of the late majority, the laggards, even the early majority. I mean, that those three segments right there are almost 80% of the population. And this is just something that, for me, when I look at it, it's like the sooner you get into it and start using it, the faster you're gonna break free from your competition and be ahead of the game.
Yeah, and then as we are seeing, the AI is changing so much. So if you're starting to use it now, you're going to be it's going to be a lot easier for you to change with the changes. You know, you're not going to be just left in the dust, right? Because I can tell you, this is an exponential kind of AI in itself is exponential. You know, it's like teaching itself, you know, how to, you know, do all this crazy stuff. So, yeah, great points, Bill. Appreciate that.
Yeah, if we're innovators and early adopters, we're going to be the leaders. If we're the laggards, well, just like the word, just like the definition of the word laggard, you're going to be in the back of the bus.
Exactly. No, not where we want to be. We want to be the front runners. We want to be, you know, the innovators and the leaders. So, well said, Bill. And
Yeah,
then,
that's kind of like our philosophy. It's always been our philosophy here at Alta Realty Group. You know, we're not a traditional brick and mortar place. These are the meetings that we come to on Wednesdays to talk about this stuff, to have these discussions, and we always want to embrace technology. That's our whole philosophy. How do we make things more efficient? How do we cut costs for the agent? How do we do things better? And this is all a part of that.
and then Don Kearney says that he knows of an AI company that will run all of your social media for a month, you know, every month for $100 a month. But as we see, you know, you can do it all yourself. It's for free. So, but if you're just too scared to deal with all this stuff and you don't want to learn, yeah, of course you can hire a company to use the AI for you. So, but do something, right? Utilize it. All right, agents. Well, that is the bulk of the presentation today, and we hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope you get out there, have a great day, make it a productive week and a good week, and we will see you guys all on the webinar next Wednesday.